Hi, and thank you so much for joining me, and today's video is for Scraptember and it's day 7, and day 7's prompt is something you hoard. And I really struggled with this at first because I'm definitely not a hoarder anymore. I used to be terrible in all aspects of my life at hoarding things. I'm trying to be much better about that now. My mum's from the generation where you have Sunday best and things like that, so she's terrible for hoarding things for best, and I'm trying to get out of that habit. But when I really gave it a good thought, I am terrible at using my 49er Market Rubons. I think that they should be saved for best. And I'm not very good at using them. Also the patterned paper backgrounds from 49er Market Spectrum Sherbet. And I think one of the reasons for that is because I am a little bit scared of using them or how to use them. I'm definitely a white card scrapper. So I thought I would challenge myself to use both of those today. So I started with this pattern paper as my background, and I've got two 4x3 photos of my children back in 2014 on their first day back to school, goofing around in the garden. So I've just pulled out all of the green bits to match the grass on the photo from the Spectrum Sherbet collection, and I'm just trying to create two photo mats. I'm still not entirely sure where the photos are going to go. I didn't know whether they were going to go side by side or above one another or on a diagonal like this. So I'm building the photo mats, and I shall glue all those together before making the final decision. So I'll leave you to watch me faffing with all these bits and pieces. And here I'm just pulling out a couple of flare buttons, one from Hey Little Magpie and one from Dotty About Flare. When I see these circular chipboard pieces from the 49er Market Spectrum Sherbet, it always reminds me to pull some flare out, so that's what I've done. So just fiddling a little bit more and deciding where things are going to go. And it's about this point I realise that I really need to start sticking them down, at least the photos into the frames anyway. So that then I can move on to the Rubons. So I want the photos to be at a wonky angle within the frame, so you'll see me just doing that, and I just glue down the corners of the photo to keep it in place. That's all that needs to be done, because it'll all be glued down eventually. So one and then the other, and using diagonal corners out and in. And now those frames are stuck down, I'm going to start building up the photo mats underneath them. So slowly gluing layer by layer under each photo. And as you can see, doing it this way, gluing the photo mats to the photo and keeping them separate from the base, means that I can move them around and check the positioning and exactly how I want them to go. And in the end, I decide diagonally like this and overlapping the frames. So then I just need to add some foam tape to the top of that bottom frame, just because it's lifted up where it's resting on the top frame there. So just playing about layering up the ephemera again, and then I will pull out the Rubons, which I'm determined to use. So I just fiddle about a little bit more, making sure I'm happy with everything, and then the Rubons will come out, and I'll start choosing some leaf Rubons and then realise that really I need to stick everything down before I start applying the Rubons. It's always a balance between sticking things down and then not being able to tuck the Rubons underneath, and not having things stuck down and wanting to layer the Rubons over pieces. So I choose a bit first, but then decide that ultimately I'm better sticking things down before I apply the Rubons. So now I've chosen the first set of Rubons that I want to use here. I'm going to stick the photos down to the main page, and then I'll start rubbing those on and see where that takes me. So I'm really happy with what they've added to the layout, and I love the way that you can layer them on top of one another really successfully. So I'm tucking into my next packet of Rubons now. These are the Tidal Wave Rubons. First of all, this lovely wordy sheet, and I see the word sweetest, which I think is perfect for these photos. So that will go just underneath that chipboard piece that says awesome there, and I'll rub that on. Then I noticed that I haven't stuck the flare and that circular chipboard on, so I'll turn my attention to those next. I do the Hey Little Magpie camera flare with the chipboard circle, and then the other flare from Dotty About Flare, or the Flare Hut as they're now known, will go at the top left hand side. You'll see that later. And while I'm making sure that everything's stuck down, I think it's probably best to add my date to that tab so that I can be stuck down above the bottom photo as well. So using my Bundled Sage ink pad and my roller date stamp, that just gets added above that photo there. And now turning my attention to the second sheet of Rubons in that pack. It's all the butterflies, so I choose to add I think 3 of these in the end, 2 up in the top right hand corner and 1 bottom left, and they really do add something special to this layout. And the next sheet is this sheet of mixed media with text, and so I'm adding a piece to the top left hand corner, and as soon as I've added that I realise I need to add one to the bottom right as well, so I'll choose one of those once this one's rubbed down and add that. So my question to you is, what do you hoard? Are you like me and trying desperately not to hoard anything, or are you like my mum and you have your Sunday best and have to save everything for best so it never gets used? I think I realised a few years ago that our tastes do change, so use things while you love them, because if you don't, you'll come back to them in a couple of years and think, well, why did I keep that? I'm not even that keen anymore. So use it on a layout while you're really enjoying it, rather than leaving it to rot. So yeah, let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to know what you hoard, or what your theory is on hoarding. So not much more to add now. The layout's nearly complete, so I'm thinking about the title. So I've taken these beautiful Dreamer alphabet stickers from Rosie's Studio. They're gorgeous, they're puffy stickers and I absolutely love them. Similar to that Sun Chaser alphabet that I've used quite a few times recently on my layouts. So I'm just cutting them out so that I can position, because I'm not exactly sure where I want the title to go, whether it's going to go bottom left or top right. It does end up bottom left, but cutting them out and keeping them on the backing gives me the option of moving them around and checking that I'm happy. So I'm spelling out year 3 here, but I want to use a different font to put Back to School above. So I grab one of my Jelly Bean Soup alphabet stickers. I've had these years. It's really nice to dive back into old stash and get some things used up. So yes, just going to use these to spell out Back to School. I won't bore you watching all of this. I'll fade out and cut most of this out. So there we have it, just adding the L at the end, and then I can go down and put year 3. And it's nice having them cut out like this, because I can see that I need to start slightly in from the B from Back to School so that it fits nicely underneath and it's symmetrical. And being me, I stick the first letter down and then notice that the gap at the top there, so I just tuck this ticket in, and I feel that completes it much better. It's balanced with that ticket on the left hand side, and then on the bottom right we've got those tags poking out, so almost like a mirror image, if you like. So just finishing putting this year 3 down. And here's that Dotty About Flare badge that I was talking about, and it looks beautiful just in that top left hand corner. Really pleased with how that looks. Just gluing the corner of the frame down. Now in with some Hey Little Magpie enamel dots in the 2 different green colours, just a few. One there to complete the trio with that chipboard circle and flare badge, and then a couple here. Just adding a little bit of interest all the time. And finally I'm going in with my splatters, so using my bundled sage Distress Oxide again, watering it down and just covering the photos so that they don't get hit. And that's it. Thank you so much for joining me for day 7 of Scraptember. Do look at the playlist down below to check out everybody else who's been joining in, and I shall see you again tomorrow for a new layout. Bye for now.